American researcher Peter Weyand found that when elite athletes like Usain Bolt are in top speed, they spend about 0.08 seconds in contact with the ground per stride. And for an amateur athlete, that number is 0.12 seconds, which also means that during that run at top speed, Usain Bolt is in air 60% of the time with no feet in contact with the ground. And for an amateur athlete, that would be about 50%. Now, elite athletes have shown time and again that techniques are far more important than just robust random training. And apart from the world famous techniques that these athletes possess, there are also some secret techniques that they use to get themselves that 1 millisecond difference from their competitors. Similarly, toppers have these secret study tips to get that 1% difference from their competitors. So in today's video, we are going to give you 5 secret study tips of toppers, and number 5 will surprise you. And at the end of this video, you're going to get 1 bonus tip. So let's get going. Hey, this is Chetna and you're watching ChetChat, and today we're talking about those secret study tips of toppers. And let's begin with secret number 1. Secret number 1 is first time right. Now this is a very important secret of toppers. By the way, have you ever noticed how when you meet a topper, they seem to have this extreme clarity on certain concepts, whereas all of us tend to be just a little confused. So the trick here is to get it right the first time when you learn the concept. Now here's what I mean. We have a number of different people who teach us. It could be your class teacher, your tuition teacher, it could be a parent, it could be an online resource, it could be an app, whatever it is. Now, when you're learning something for the first time, make sure that you learn it from the most reliable of these sources, the source that makes the thing absolutely clear to you. Because once something is clear in your mind, then every single time you repeat it and revise it, it's just going to solidify and make that understanding even more clear. But once confusion sets in, it takes a really long time to get it out of your head. So first time right is a super secret success tip of toppers. Secret number 2 is sticky notes. No, I don't mean that you stick all these colored sticky notes all over your house and make it look like Sherlock Holmes' house. What this technique means is stick to your own notes. Now, have you noticed just before an exam, there is this frenzy of making phone calls and WhatsApp messages and saying, hey, can you give me your notes? Can you scan them? Can I photocopy them? Can you share them to me in a WhatsApp group? But have you noticed that your topper will never do that? They always stick to their own notes, which also means that they make notes throughout the year. Right from the beginning, the first time they read something, they make their own notes, and every time they revise, they go back and they make these little squigglies on it, and before an exam, they pick up their own notes in their own handwriting, and that makes their brain totally understand everything all over again. So if you need some scientific techniques to make notes, then I'm going to drop a link to one of our videos in the description box below. So get out your color pencils and your notebooks and start making your notes today. Secret number 3, a sight before good night. Now, do you have a friend who calls you up just before exams and says, hey, I finished my entire syllabus today, or hey, I finished 10 chapters today, and you're like, oh my God. And have you ever noticed that a topper would never do something like this? Because a topper knows that memory is fickle, and they know that spaced repetition is the key to good memorization. But you're going to say, hey, I have so much to study and so many topics to cover. Where is the time to keep repeating what I studied before? So here is the secret study tip to a good quick revision and to make a habit of it. Just before you go to sleep at night, pick up your notebook, pick up that most important concept that you studied a couple of days ago and go over your notes for a few minutes, maybe once or twice, give it a quick reading, shut your notebook and go to sleep. And while you're sleeping, your subconscious brain will process all that information, and when you wake up in the morning, you will have a far better recollection. Secret number 4 is Pareto's Principle. Now, you know this, that toppers don't necessarily have the most amount of knowledge, but somehow they seem to be able to answer the questions on the exam really well. So an economist, Wilfredo Pareto, coined this famous principle called the Paretos Principle, which says that 80% of all outcomes typically come from about 20% of all actions, and 80% of the questions on your paper will come from about 20 to 30% of your syllabus. And toppers have a secret way of knowing what that 20 to 30% is. No, they don't have any spies in the education department. But what they do is that they pick up these past papers, maybe 5-year papers or 7-year papers, whatever you have access to, pick up the papers and analyze them and study which part of the syllabus are the examiners asking the biggest questions from, and what style of questions is being asked. You know, one big myth out here is that the toppers study for more number of hours than an average student. In fact, the Pareto's Principle proves that you need to study smart and not hard. And if you want some more scientific techniques on how to study smart and not hard, then I'm going to drop a link for a video for you. And secret study tip number 5 is called Close Your Book. This one will surprise you. Do you know that the brain processes information better when it's taking a break? Now just imagine the brain is this little cup, and you keep your book open all the time and you're reading all the time. It's like you're stuffing bits into that cup, and it's more like a storage tank rather than a processor. So once you shut your book and you go out into the fresh air, maybe you take a walk, maybe you want to play with your dog, you want to strum an instrument, or you just want to daydream. That's the time when the processor really starts to work. So let your brain chill a bit and see the magic. And now for the bonus tip. The bonus tip is keep it funny, honey. You know, the brain tends to remember things that are funny and humorous. Why does that happen? Because it increases alertness, it makes it more interesting, it reduces all the negative emotions of stress, etc., and it kind of becomes so easy to relate to. So how about when you find something difficult, relate that to a funny joke maybe, or make an acronym that's humorous, and that way you will enjoy your way to the top of the class. So keep it funny, honey, and that's all from me for now. I hope you enjoyed these secret study tips, and I wish you all the best for your exam. God bless you and happy learning.